Yes, from magnitude jiu-jitsu. That was the martial art used by samurai once they dropped their swords. The Gracie family of Brazil took this art form, modified it, and created Brazilian jiu-jitsu, though considered by many to be the world's most effective martial art. Recently, one of the toughest Gracies, Royce, visited New Zealand to conduct just one master class. Nathan was there. This is his story.
Mixed martial arts, the bare-knuckle combat sport where fighters from any martial arts background meet in the ring to test their skills and find out which art is the strongest. Within the sport, there's one name more famous than all the others combined: Royce Gracie, the undefeated champion of the USC who won using his family's own brand of jiu-jitsu. When word got out that Royce was coming to New Zealand to give a seminar, students from all over the country came to learn. So I butted in to ask him why jiu-jitsu was such an effective martial art.
Jiu-jitsu don't depend on punching and kicking. We're more of a submission art. We're going to take the person to the ground and try to grapple them out until submission.
So it doesn't always have to be pound them into the ground and knock them out, right?
I can't rely on punching and kicking because let's assume that my opponent's much bigger and stronger than me. I'll punch him, he smile, punch me back, knock me out. That's why the lightweight in boxing doesn't not fight on the heavyweight division. So I can't exchange firepower with my opponent.
One of my favorite fights of yours is the one against Jason DeLuca, who was Mr. Kung Fu Man, who was going to come and rearrange you, and you were lying underneath him. Could you take us through in slow motion, if I'm kind of slightly on top of your hair, how that works?
Yeah. What happens, we went to the ground, he was on top of me, he was up, but I brought my leg over his head, and I caught him in an arm lock right here. You feel the arm?
You should show. You come in and have a look. Show that close up just there. Now what's happening is this part here, I can tell you.
My hip pushes elbow up. To pop the ligaments.
Yes, watch this. About 15. Watch Royce lock the right arm. Now he gets the leverage around his head, closes the distance with his other foot, and he's tapping from a standing position. Isn't that something? Now, that's what snaps the capsule in the elbow right there.
And that's not strength, is it? That's just moving your hips?
Leveraging. So I brought my leg over his head. And I left the hip up, lift the hip up.
Who invented the Gracie style of jiu-jitsu? And how did that story come about?
Actually, my uncle learned from the Japanese back in Brazil. My father learned by just watching because he was very small, couldn't do it, very weak. But in his mind, after watching for so long, he just developed, how can I do this? And make it the whole thing, he just add leverage into the moves. So he started to challenge people for fights. So he fought people double his weight. He had a fight that lasted for 3 hours and 45 minutes to make sure to prove that this stuff works. To fight somebody your weight, it's one thing. To be able to beat somebody bigger, this stuff really gotta work.
And believe me, it really does work. And with that, Royce took the class through the basics of Gracie Jiu-Jitsu training, including stretching using yoga, how to tackle people without getting smacked in the face, and how to do a bunch of other fun stuff, like...
That's a submission arm lock. It's to put the opponent in a submission, just to control him. You can break the arm if you squeeze it hard enough, but most of the time you just get into so much pain that he'll quit, stop fighting right there. Feel the ligaments popping on your hand as you push it up. You feel the cracking, the ripping. You gotta feel that's the best part of the whole move. You guys are letting it go, you're losing the feeling. Come on, guys. Feel the whole thing. Once it's like snap, the whole thing starts to rip on your hands. It's awesome, man. You gotta try that one time. That's called the triangle choke. It's a choke with the legs. You squeeze the guy, squeeze his neck until he passes out.
Yeah, easier said than done. Look at my Gumby effort here. But I'll tell you what, it bloody hurts when it's done properly, and no while you're down there jokes, please. You get a hamstring that goes right across your throat like that, and then it's pretty much all over after that. While I recovered, I grabbed a few of the guys to ask them how long they'd been involved in jiu-jitsu.
I've been doing martial arts for about 10, 12 years.
Pretty solidly for about 4.5 years.
10 years now.
Have you had a chance to use your skills yet?
No, never had to. Never had to. Which is maybe a good thing.
How'd you hear about it?
I just heard wind of these guys out of Brazil and how good they were and prepared to fight anyone, any time, with any rules.
So I did a bit of looking into it down on the net and found some stuff.
I didn't know any martial arts whatsoever, and I opened up the yellow pages and saw Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Went along to this training, and everyone was training on the ground. I was saying, what's going on here with this grappling and stuff like that? And then after doing a lot of research, I realised that it was pretty strong stuff.
I mean, a lot of world karate is really good, and it's good for, you know, punching and kicking. A lot of it you can fake your way through, you know, do a bit of sparring and wave the arms and legs at each other. This, you're carrying someone around for 5 or 6 minutes, and you know when you've lost and you know when you've won.
Oh, yeah. And Royce knew when he'd lost against me, all right. Behold, the Brown Crusader! It's soft, but it's solid. Well, ladies and gents, if you want to learn more about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu or places to learn how to do it, that's the website you want down the bottom there, bjj.co.nz. And above that are Royce's Ultimate Fighting titles. See, only 80 kilos. Don't have to be big.
Coming up on Sports